Welcome back guys to another beginner friendly sewing tutorial. I'm a little late to the party, however in my version of this skirt there will be absolutely no circle calculations. Even though I'm a Pisces, I'm not about bringing that into my sewing. First you want to take your measurements. We just need a waist and a length measurement. Please reference the pattern notes for the pattern, but it's essentially just a rectangle with the width being half waist times 3 and length is the desired length times 2. All the edges are straight, so we're doing the good old snip and rip action. After you cut out your pieces, you also want to make some notches. For each piece, you want to notch it every quarter along the top and bottom edge. This is really important with matching everything up later. Cut your elastic 3 centimeters shorter than your actual waist size. I find that when I sew over elastic, it loses a bit of its recovery. I used a 2 centimeter wide elastic, but I would actually recommend a 3 to 4 centimeter wide one. Mark a notch every 1/8 along. Sew up both side seams to create a giant tube like this, however leave a 20 centimeter gap towards the top of one end. Gather up the top and bottom edge slightly. You just need to gather it so it's a bit bigger than your elastic. Connect the ends of your elastic. Pin the elastic to the wrong side of the edge of the skirt, furthest away from the gap. Match the seam of the elastic to the side seam of the skirt and then along the notches while you stretch and sew. Regardless of the width of your elastic, keep the fabric at 1 centimeter seam allowance. Most importantly, babes, remember to stretch while you sew, because if you don't, you're going to pop those stitches later getting it on. Doctor's orders. At this point, I tried it on. Call me a slut, but it was slightly too long for my taste, so I shortened it. You will have to regather that edge if you shorten it. Please review the pattern notes for the sewing gymnastics we are about to perform. You want to fold the skirt up with right sides out, matching the gathered edges. Go through the hole between the 2 layers of fabric and turn that top edge inwards so that they are right sides facing each other. Then pull that top edge through the hole so it's outside and you can see it. Match up the notches and sew. Once again, stretching and sewing. You might have to do this in sections just to get your bearings. This is one of those rare cases that if it looks like you are sewing a giant ball of fabric mess, then you're probably doing something right. Once you've gone all the way around, pull the skirt right side out through the hole. At this point, I added pockets. However, you should actually add them at the very beginning when your pieces are still rectangles. I'm not going to go into it here because no one should be adding pockets this late into a project. If the last step was D1 gymnastics, I was at the Olympics. The last thing you need to do with the skirt is close that hole from the outside, and that hole should sit inside the skirt while you wear it. And we're all done. I turned that scrap of fabric from before into a matching hairband, and I think she looks pretty good. Good luck guys, and happy sewing.